Hi, welcome back to Gaming for Gamers. So today, here we are back in Watch Dogs Legion outside the British Museum, which if you've never been there, is fantastic. But anyway, that's not the point of the video. What is the point of the video? Okay, so today's video is, I thought I'd make another video that's slightly off topic of wokeism and that subject, just for one video, because there's so much going on with that in general. That it seems to take up almost all the things going on in gaming at the moment. So I thought, let me pick another subject that's happened in gaming recently that's not about that, and just make a small video. I'm certain I'll come back to wokeism and what's going on with all of that sweet baby, etc. But for once, I'm going to make a video not related to that, and it's a video related to game remakes and or remasters, whatever you want to call them, and it's why do they do that? That's the question. So I think it's fine in the past where they remade some of the Resident Evil games, for example, from quite a decade ago, longer than that, and I think that's valid. I think that's good. The games, I've only played a couple of Resident Evil games ever, but the ones I played I enjoyed, and I can definitely see why they'd want to remake them. Some of them are, early 2000s and earlier than that. And from what I've read, the new remakes are very good and they were very well received. So I get that, that's fine, because they're very popular pretty way back. But then, why are they remaking games like Horizon Zero Dawn and Until Dawn? No connection other than remakes, and I don't get that. I mean, Horizon Zero Dawn is 2 or 3, maybe 4 years old. Until Dawn is a little bit older, but they're not old games. And Horizon Zero Dawn is a newish AAA game. It's newish by any standards, and it's PS5 game, which is how new it is. So why would they remake that? What would be the point? Okay, of course they can jazz up a little bit of the frame rates maybe, and I've not gone into all the detail of what they're doing with it, and they can change some of the graphics a little bit and the shaders and da-da-da-da-da. But what's the point to doing that? I mean, they're going to not remaster the game to just help the people that have already downloaded it and say, hey, you get a free update if you just log into your account. They're going to sell it as a remaster. So why would you think anyone would be that desperate to get that? I mean, I love Watch Dogs Legion, but if they remastered this and made it again exactly the same, even if they added extra detail, I wouldn't buy it again and pay another whatever amount of money for it, because why would I? And this is an older game than Horizon Zero Dawn. So why? What's the point? And don't they think that there's no need for that, and also don't they think that there's plenty of either people really want them to remake, or they could be spending all that money on a new game or a new franchise. Of course it's easier and it's cheaper to make a remaster and a remake of a game than it is to make a whole new franchise or a whole new game, but that's not the point. In that case, if they only want to make a remaster, then remaster something that's 20 years old, 10, 15 years old. Don't remaster 3 or 4 year old games, it's ridiculous. Until Dawn is a game I liked a lot. I've played through to the end of that a couple of times and I enjoyed that a lot. It's a game of that genre, that kind of mystery, horror-y kind of thing, and it's the only game I really liked. I've played other games like Amnesia and things like that, but it's the only one that I really enjoyed. The graphics were good. I like the characters, and I like the fact it wasn't literally all just running around dark corridors and stuff like that. I thought it's a genre I liked. I like horror movies, but I actually didn't particularly like most of those games. But I did like Until Dawn, and I played through it twice, and I don't see what the point to remaking that would be. It's not a mega famous game, as is Horizon Zero Dawn. It's not a mega old game. Again, I'm sure they could improve the frame rates and graphics, although from what I've seen of what they've remade, they haven't, and I don't think the remake's been very well received, from what people have seen of it anyway. But even if it was slightly better, the same thing as applies to Horizon Zero Dawn. Why don't you just remake a game from decades ago, or make a new game? Those two things. Because who do they really think is going to, especially in the case of Until Dawn, which is a story-based game, so there's only a limited amount of times you're going to want to play through that. It's not like a role-playing game where you can play it over and over again lots of times. So who do they really think is going to run out and buy this remake of a game from not that long ago, where if you've already played it, you kind of know the outcomes? If you played through all different stories of the different characters, there's a limited amount of outcomes you can have. There are quite a few, but there's a limited amount, so what's the point? And it's not just something that's happened in gaming. I mean, it happens more and more in movies and series, where originally they remade things from the 70s, and it was like, okay, that's a long time ago, that's fine, they can do it, new, and they can do it with better special effects. But now they're remaking things from this decade, and it's just, why? What's wrong with them? I remember watching a remake of a film called Cabin Fever, which wasn't that old in the first place, and the remake was virtually the same as the original. In fact, it was exactly the same. As far as I could see, I don't remember it word for word, but the script was virtually the same script. If they changed a few words, they changed a few words, but it certainly wasn't a different script. All it was the same script with worse actors and a more toned down, boring way of doing it. The first one was original, at least, and people wasn't expecting it. But unlike even with games, they didn't hype up the graphics or anything. It was just a movie, and it wasn't a AAA movie. Let's just say AAA movie. So it wasn't some CGI amazing movie, and they remade that just with different actors that weren't as good. So it was just literally a cash grab, which is what these things are. So it's baffling. It's a bit like, and I hate to come back to this, it's a bit like the woke things, where they make games that they don't really think are going to sell. But even that, in a disturbing and screwed up way, makes sense if they want to push a message and they don't care about selling games. But it doesn't make any sense to remake games from 3 or 4 years ago, or even 6 or 7 years ago, just to slightly change the graphics, or slightly change the frame rates, or slightly change because that's not even pushing a message. They're just literally thinking that someone's dumb enough to go out and spend another 50, 60, 70 dollars on a slightly better graphical game. And in the case of Horizon Zero Dawn, it's a game that, it's recent, it's in everyone's memory. The sequel was only, a couple of years ago. So it's bizarre that they think anyone would do that. And of course, someone will buy it. There'll be people that didn't buy it the first time, and they'll buy the new version. But I wouldn't have thought there'd be many people who bought the original that would go out and spend that much money on a new version. So what's the point? And it's that thing where this mega money goes into these things. Even the money it takes to remake and remaster a game is a lot of money. It may not be as much money. And if they want to throw money around, there's plenty of things they could spend money on in the world, let alone in gaming. So it's just ridiculous and pointless. And it's like, have they completely run out of imagination, and completely run out of ideas, and completely run out of creativity, that all they can think of is, we can remake that slightly better, and just make that a little bit lighter, and that a bit darker, and the frame rate's a little bit better, and the graphics a little bit sharper, and okay, so they do. So what? It's not what makes a game fun. A game is fun because everything about it's fun. The content's fun, the characters are fun, the gameplay's fun, and yes, people like really smart graphics and new gen graphics, but the difference between a PlayStation 5 Horizon Zero Dawn graphics from the original and what the upgrade's going to be is going to be negligible. And that's if actually people are all playing it on PS5, some of them are playing it on PS4 or PS4 Pro, etc. So it's a weird thing. It's another one of those strange things that gaming do, where you think, what, why? And it's even more perplexing. I know it's a cash grab, but it's even more perplexing than the wokeism, because they really can't expect to sell that much of it. And then, like I said, with some of the games like Until Dawn, and I've seen little clips of what the remake's meant to be like, it's like, well, if you saw that you weren't doing a great job with the remake and you weren't going to make it stunningly better, and that would count Horizon Zero Dawn, I've seen some of that and it looks a little, why would you do it? If you know that your remake isn't that great or it's worse than the original, why would you bother doing it? Because you know that A, you won't sell anything, and B, you'll get criticised in the media and everyone will laugh at you, which is what's going to happen. So anyway, that's my little video today. I did touch on wokeism, sorry, but yeah, it was mainly about remasters and remakes, and I'll be back to more wokeism, I'm sure, next time. Anyway, thanks for watching Gaming for Gamers. Till next time.